A Scottish independence referendum should be blocked for decades, an Express.co.uk poll has indicated. Scotland voted by a margin of 55% to 45% against Scottish independence during a historic referendum in 2014. The SNP and First Minister Nicola Sturgeon have used Brexit, which Scotland voted against by 62% to 38% nearly 5 years ago, to claim Scotland has a mandate for another independence referendum. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson has continued to slap down all demands for Indy Ref 2, insisting the vote must be honoured and that it was a once-in-a-generation event. He even suggested Scots will have to wait until 2055 to have another referendum on independence, using the gap between the UK's 2 votes on EU membership as a guide. But that HASNT slowed down Ms Sturgeon's campaign and in the weeks prior to the Scottish election last week, vowed to press ahead with an independence push if the SNP secured a majority in the Scottish Parliament. The SNP narrowly failed in those attempts, but the success of the pro-independence Greens in the elections now mean combined, the two parties have a total of 72 seats in Holyrood. This will likely ramp the pressure up on Mr Johnson further to grant the relevant powers to Scotland to enable it to hold a second independence referendum. But a damning new poll from Express.co.uk has found support for a long delay before the next referendum. The poll, which ran from 11 a.m. on Tuesday, May 11 to 3 p.m. on Thursday, May 14 and received 11,271 responses, asked, should a once-in-a-generation referendum on Scottish independence be refused for decades? A huge 89%, 9,976 readers, agreed in another bitter blow to Ms Sturgeon's hopes of holding Indy Ref 2. Just 10%, 1,181 readers disagreed, while the remaining 1%, 114 readers were unsure. Furious Express.co.uk readers lashed out at Ms Sturgeon over her continued demands for a second independence referendum. One raged, 15 years of SNP and all they have done is have one referendum, which they lost, and moan about having another one. A great way to dodge your responsibility of governing Scotland properly. Once every 50 years referendum vote. A second reader fumed, living in Scotland I can honestly say that apart from the Braveheart Brigade there is not much appetite for it. Most people are fed up with Sturgeon continually going on and on about it and her confrontational brand if politics. She is only in power because of the total inadequacy of the opposition parties. One Scot said, "I'm Scottish, live in Scotland, voted no in 14 and would do again if Sturgeon forces a never-end dumb." Personally I'd like to see the PM push through a law making it illegal to push for any more Indy refs until the year 2100. Another person added, the SNP won the election well, but that does not mean they all wanted to vote for independence. It means the alternatives were not as strong as they need to be. Given the amount of financial support they receive compared to England, Wales and Ireland, per person, Sturgeon will delay as long as possible to get more money to make up for the financial mess she is creating. The latest damaging poll for Ms Sturgeon comes after a Tory former Scottish secretary claimed the First Minister does not want an independence referendum but wants to talk about one to distract from her abysmal record. Lord Forsyth of Drumlin said the SNP leader would only want a vote when she was sure she could win it, but added support for this is now falling. Speaking at Westminster, he claimed, "I'd like to share a secret and I find saying things in this house is a good way of keeping them secret. Nicola doesn't want a referendum. The last thing she wants is a referendum. Because she only wants a referendum when she is sure she can win it." They themselves said that they would need at least 60% of the electorate supporting them, and support is on the decline. But she does want to talk about having a referendum because it is a diversion from her record which is abysmal. Scotland is the drugs capital of Europe with 24 funerals every week, and she, Ms Sturgeon, thinks she should be concentrating on talking about the need for a referendum.